rainwater harvesting specialist as well. And he usually gives our demonstrations for the rain simulator. So therefore, we asked him to come and give this presentation. If you haven't seen a rain simulator before, we hope that you're intrigued and consider building one for your county. All right, Dick, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
you're on. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We're going to run a movie showing how to use a rainfall simulator for demonstration purposes to show if what happens to the rainwater after it hits on different types of soils with different types of plantings. Lance, are you ready to start the movie? Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dick Packard. I'm a Tarrant County Master Gardener, class of 2011. Since joining the organization, I have been privileged to work with the intern classes for 6 years as an advisor and coordinator. I also do telephone training for them. And the advantage of that is I've gotten to work very closely with our wonderful extension agent, Steve Chaney. Okay, we're going to show how to assemble and how to make a rain simulator. The idea of the rain simulator is to simulate rain, obviously. These bins, we're going to be drilling holes in the bottom of it. We're going to drill from the top down so that we don't get a burr, so the water can smoothly go through. And we're going to drill 24 holes. All of them are going to be in the center part of this bin, in here, because the water from here is going to drip down on the bins underneath. Okay? And they're going to use an 1/8" bit to drill the holes. And just make sure you don't try to drill into that brick underneath.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, make sure you don't go into the brick. Okay. You want to drill it from this end?
I have a frizzy.
Yeah, kind of go down the row with it, is what I'd do.
How did you determine 8 years old?
Because Dottie Woodson said so. Oops. Retake. Yeah, you'll keep the bit moving. It'll be easier to get in and out. There you go. You may have to come at it from the other side because of the... And this is the finished product of what it'll look like.
We're so proud. Hey guys, we're working on maintenance on our
bins for our rain simulator project, and I'm going to be removing some weeds that have grown up in it. Got muhly grass in here, but we're going to take out the, what is this, Johnson grass and different things. So this is the native grass bin for the simulator, and it has muhly grass in it, but it's also got a lot of volunteers that we're going to be taking out today. Johnson grass is one of them. Let's see if I can pull it out. Yes. And we won't do any pruning. It's not the right time to prune muhly grass. We've got mulberry weed and all kinds of other things that have volunteered. And as you know, Johnson grass doesn't always want to come out. And there's a cedar elm volunteer in here that I'm going to save if I can. There we go. Voila. All right. So just a few more weeds. And it's ready for the simulator. All right, now we're going to look at, this is representative of a lawn, and it needs a little maintenance, so I'm going to pull out a few weeds, which we all have to do on our lawns periodically, and it needs a haircut because it needs to be mowed back. So we're working on that. Those are not green. All right, and then just a little water to get it back in shape. That's that. This represents our weedy lawn, and it is just a hot mess, as you can see. It's got stuff in it that has died, so I'll pull that out. For the simulator, this also has real uneven soil, so I've got to level it out and get it down lower for it to actually correctly represent what happens when rain hits it. So I'll get to that in just a second. And since it's our weedy lawn, I'm not taking out plants so much as I am moving soil around on this one today. You can see I'm getting it down below. Right now the soil's piled up in front of this drainage pipe, and so that's what I'm trying to get it down below.
Honey.
Let's see. It was covered up.
Okay.
So sometimes maintenance isn't about pruning, it's about moving soil and finding a fire ant that bites you. That's real life, people. And I'm just going to pull it out. And that is it for our weedy lawn representation.
This is going to be a rainwater simulation. It's going to be a demonstration of what happens to an inch of water or more whenever it lands on different types of soil. We're going to have 4 different types of soil that it's going to land on. One is planted with a native grass. One is kind of an unkempt soil with just weeds. One would be like a turf grass. This one has St. Augustine in it. And the other, the last one, is an impervious surface of concrete.
and we put some little buildings in there to kind of simulate a little village. Okay, we're going to pour the water in the top, and then it's going to rain down onto these, and we'll see what happens to it. Is that okay? I'm getting rained on too. What we have done, we have drilled holes in these top bins to simulate the rainwater. If you were doing this indoors, you could have a big tub underneath where as these fill up, you could pour the excess water in there so it didn't get on the floor inside the building. As you can see what's happening, our native grass, which has tremendous roots that go many inches into the ground, almost as tall as the top of the plant. On a native grass, the water goes right down the grass and then into the root system. So we're getting a lot of groundwater from that. And why is groundwater important? We have about 10,000 springs in Texas, and currently only 60% of those are still functional. That's because we've lost a lot of our groundwater. The groundwater also resupplies the aquifers. In this demonstration, we got probably an equal amount of surface and groundwater. The lawn got almost all groundwater. But the trouble with that is that if you try to fertilize, put herbicides on your yard, and then you're going to have a heavy rain, you're going to get runoff. So you should not do that right before a heavy rain. You want to be sure and put your sprinkler system on a cycle and soak so that the water goes deeply into the ground and you don't get that runoff. Otherwise, we're contaminating our surface water as it runs off. And of course, this impervious surface, we're getting all surface water, which is to be expected. It has no place to go. So what do you do in that circumstance? What you would do then is you would harvest some rainwater. You would put some collecting systems around the edge of the building and collect rainwater. Okay? The rain simulator we have was built by Dr. Dottie Woodson's student when she was an extension agent for Tarrant County. But you can find information on how to make this simulator on a PDF that you should have received in an email. Also, you can get information on YouTube videos. Billy Niffin has given several of these videos on how to use a rain simulator and gives an excellent demonstration that you can use. And we will send you links to these YouTube videos so that they will be available for you.
Okay, there was one thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to talk about, and that was the difference in the quality of the groundwater that was coming off from the native grass, which was almost clear. So it does a very good filtering job as compared to the one that was coming off the turf, where it was kind of muddy looking water. On the bins, the reason we can drill down from the top is so we don't get a burr or something that interferes with the water flow going down into the bins. We've had our system for probably 7 years or more. I had to we replaced all the bins this last year because some of them had cracked. 18 years? Never mind, correct, 18 years. they finally will rot. Of course, keeping them in a sunny barn like they were stored probably had a lot to do with that. So you might consider with your bins that you store them, you know, in the right, you know, in a cooler place so that they don't crack. Lance, did you have the video to show those links and everything? Oh, you put them up on chat? Okay. Okay.
Yes, I sent them into the links for everyone in the chat, and I'll also send the links out in the link I sent everyone to view everything on YouTube. So a recording of this class.
Okay. All right. And are there any questions from anyone? Surely you got some questions. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And there, remember there's a PDF file that shows how to build. And that just should be, you know, in your PDF files that you receive by email. It also shows how to construct the bins. Those pictures are also in there, as you can see here. All right, and be sure and watch Billy Niffin's videos. He did about 3 of them. He will cover some things that I probably forgot to mention, but this is a very good way. Also, instead of using different type of plants in the soils, you can do a demonstration just using different types of soils and watching how the water runs through like clay soil or sandy soil to get the same type of effects. Are there any questions? Okay.
There's one in the I'll read it off. In the simulator, do you show where the runoff goes?
Yes, that's the reason for the 2 areas that drain from the lower bin. I mean, one goes to surface water and the other one goes to groundwater. Oh, okay, yeah. And of course, the impervious surface, you know, I stressed the importance of establishing a rainwater harvesting system. Here is a bin. Where is it?
I'll go all the way up and I'll pull down the bar. I'll pull down the bar, Nancy.
Well,
Here, go right here. Pull your thing over it again. Go right here.
okay.
Click the arrow. Click the arrow. And come up to like. Takes a minute. And then it's going to show up right here. Just like the, there you go, just like the property. You can hold that, and she can hold the camera.
Yeah, this is the bin. And of course, we drilled 24 holes. There was a question you might not have heard on there. Margaret said, how do I know how many holes to drill? My answer was that Dottie Woodson said that's how many we're supposed to do. Also, when we drilled all those holes, we drilled them on the inside of the bin. That way the water, all the water would go, you know, to the bin below and not splash over the sides. And you can also see, these are the other connectors. As you can see, there is a rubber gasket on the inside and then a metal attachment that attaches each of those. Okay. Can you see that? All right. Yeah. Oh. I'll take it. Let me take it back to Okay. And this was the groundwater container that we were talking about. You could make these a little bit larger than the ones we use because they did kind of overflow. And as I don't remember hearing on the video, it's better to do this outside. If you do it inside, you'd probably want to put a tub under it so you don't get water all over the floor. Okay. Any other questions or anything? Nancy? Okay, are we done, Nancy? If there are no more questions, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. You want to do it now? Okay. You want to tell them what we're doing?
Yeah. Okay. Claire's going to come back on momentarily since we ran a little over on her video. She had some specific parts that she wanted to share with you. As you prepare in your county to do rain barrel builds, either for a fundraiser or for an event for the public, you know, and I'm sure many of you can share things that you have done as well. We've gone through a number of locations on where to purchase materials and purchasing in bulks and things like that, so we can keep cost down to a minimum. So I think Claire's going to come on momentarily here. Dick, one of the questions is what size are the collection jugs? What size did we? I don't recall.
Question of the size. What size are they?
Do you think they're quarts?
They're a quart size.
Okay. Looks to be a quart size. Okay.
Okay. All right. Turn the video on. I've got it.
Okay. Thanks. Claire's going to come back on and show you some barrel parts that we use.
Thanks, Nancy. So we did want to let y'all know a little bit more on the fundraiser and am I really making a profit? Well, the first year, the first set of barrels, you might not, but you'll find out you do. We sell our barrels for $50 a barrel. We went according to other counties around us and what they were selling them for, and came up with that same price, $50. When we purchase our barrels in bulk through the people this last time around, we were able to get them for $7.50 per barrel. Then you add the price of everything else on top of that, and we came out with 24. Yes, that included the transporting. Because Nancy was saying, did that price include the transporting of the barrels? Yes, when we equaled out we ordered 100 at a time. And so the price per barrel and the delivery fee added in on that. And so our barrels came out to just right at or maybe 10 cents over $25 a barrel. So you're making a pretty good profit. We know, again, a lot of your profit's going to go back into making your first purchases of everything from the yardsticks, the spreaders, caulk guns, maybe some goggles for those coming out to help work with you on rain barrels. And then each time that you do it, of course, you're purchasing your silicone. So that one particular thing seems to be the ongoing price, other than your bulkheads and your faucets. So we're going to show a couple of, we talked about screens first, that we wanted to let you see screening that was out on the market. And one of our first purchases of screen was that larger. It might not let insects in, but it does allow the catkins and other debris to fall into your barrel. So this being quite a bit larger open, this is insect screening. And you'll be able to see, I know it looks a little funny right now, but then you can see how much tighter weave it is. So that here you're allowing things to get in. Dottie had said, you might get a mosquito fly down into there or somehow, but she is not going to be able to get back out once she gets in there and lays eggs. Her wings are not going to allow her to get back out of there. And then our insect screening that we've purchased, when you're out there looking, let me see if I can get that. And not every place had it. Ace Hardware actually carries it to where you can go in and buy just the section piece that you want. You may only want 3 feet of it. You may want just enough to cover a rain guzzler, which would be a good 24 by 24. So again, take a look around and see what your project is and what you're working on that you might need it. Now for that bulkhead, the bulkheads that we found through the large store. Whoop, there we go. This particular bulkhead, we're able to get down in price from what it's marked up on the, you know, they're hanging in the store because we ordered in bulk, but still they're charging us $11 for one. So we started looking around. This gray one that you saw them putting on that has the large looking silicone gasket here at the base, no other gasket available, and that's why Cheryl was putting that small bead of silicone around the exterior portion once it's on that barrel, is to make sure that nothing else is going to have a chance to leak through. But this is supposed to conform to the barrel, whether it's this particular gasket or your $11, which had the 2 gaskets in it. This one is more, the black one is more of a foam type. So again, it's going to conform to the barrel for you also. But this one on the market through Amazon, and I'm trying to remember the name of the company now, but it is a company for aquariums, and it's half the price. So take a look. I mean, if you're paying $7 as opposed to $11. So again, you can make some money by watching where you're making your purchases. And then the last thing I was going to mention to y'all is connection for overflow. And on the connection for overflow, you're going to want an exterior elbow with the piece on the inside that you're tightening it up with. When I went out and looked, I wasn't thinking about this portion hanging out of the barrel needs to be threaded, because again, it's just an overflow. This one, having the threads interiorly here, you now can hook a faucet, a hose into here and really drain that water away from a foundation if your barrel is sitting up near a house. So little things like that, that when you're out on the market and you don't have your pieces with you, take a lot of pictures, know what you're getting when you go out there. And I think that was it, my 3 components here. Oh, the piece of screening that we had connected in between, and you'll see how tight we had screwed it in there, so that once you've got this in your barrel, and when we took it out, you'll see it had already collected quite a bit of debris in it. So necessary, not necessary, that part's up to you. If you're connecting to other hoses leading out to a runoff, you know, not necessary. So were there any questions before we break for lunch? If not, we get a nice 45-minute lunch break.
Okay. You see everybody's a little quiet out there. So yes, we're going to go ahead and break early for lunch. Yeah, we have it at 11:45 on our clock here. And so we will start back up at the Botanic Garden at noon. However, I believe Steve is going to stay online, as will Claire. So if you are interested in opening up your microphones and you want to chat or have specific questions that you've been typing into the chat box, feel free to do that. And we'll try to answer the questions for you.
And we'll find out if this publication is available through the AgriLife, because I know that they've got their logo down here in the bottom corner. So we'll find out if it's on the bookstore.
Hold that back. There you go.
But your
Steve,
county extension agent.
yeah, Steve may know the answer to that. Steve, you want to unmute and address that publication?
I'm sorry, which publication?
You want to show that again, Claire?
Yeah, it's still.
It's the one we give out to when
It's
we
on
do
the
our
camera.
rainwater classes. You may
Okay,
have to show it again, Claire.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the question on it.
They were wanting to know, others in other counties wanted to know the source for that. Of course, we get ours through TRWD, but if they're in another county, where might they be able to find that publication?
Yeah, I think it's still at the bookstore, but I'm not sure. We would just have to do a little research and find out, and
Yeah.
then we'll let everybody know.
Right, and that was sent to you as a PDF, so you'll be able to show that publication to your agent. Usually through the bookstore, Steve, correct me, there may be a fee to you. We have a collaboration with Tarrant Regional Water District, so therefore we don't pay for them.
Yeah, sometimes there is a fee, and but most of the time they'll have, if it's something really popular, they'll have a PDF that you can download.
Right. And you could consider, depending on the size of your city or regardless of the size, contact your local water department and let them know what you're trying to do as far as educating the public about water conservation and rainwater catchment systems, and the fact that you would like those publications, and maybe they will come on board with you. Maybe they'll get a grant or something. We do some collaboration with some of our Tarrant County cities. For example, Mansfield, they will do a rainwater harvesting class and a rain barrel build. They do not charge their residents anything. All those residents have to do is sign up, come to the class and attend the class, and then master gardeners are there to provide help to build those barrels. And Mansfield actually has paid for all of the parts. And those that attend, they basically get a free rain barrel for coming and attending that class. So you might consider partnering with either your library system or with the water system, whoever the supplier is for your community or for your city. And if you're somewhere larger like Bexar County, San Antonio, I know they collaborate with their regional water district as well. So it's been fortunate for us. Or you could, look to a grant as well for cost. Could be more information than you want. All right, y'all enjoy your lunch. And anyway, come back on if you have any questions.